Commander Diana Walsh stood at the viewport of Luna Base, her steel-gray eyes fixed on the gleaming vessel docked in the crater below. The Helios, humanity's final hope wrapped in titanium and quantum technology. 3 years of brutal war against the Nexarian Empire had pushed Earth to the brink of extinction, and now everything rested on this single ship. Commander, the final diagnostics are complete. Technical Director Ravi Patil approached, his tablet displaying streams of data. The quantum core is stable, and all systems are operating within parameters. Diana nodded, her short silver-streaked hair catching the harsh artificial light. At 45, she'd spent half her life in space combat, but nothing had prepared her for this moment. And the neural interface. Tested and ready. Though I must remind you, the mental strain of connecting with the ship's AI could be significant. A bitter smile crossed Diana's face. Considering the alternative is extinction, I'll take my chances. The base's warning klaxons suddenly blared to life. Admiral James Henderson's voice echoed through the facility. Nexarian fleet detected crossing the Kuiper Belt. All personnel to battle stations. Commander Walsh, report to command immediately. In the underground command center, holographic displays showed the approaching alien armada, 5,000 ships strong, each capable of reducing a continent to ash. Admiral Henderson, his dark face lined with exhaustion, stood before the tactical display. "They're earlier than we anticipated," he said as Diana entered. "The outer colonies have fallen silent. We're all that's left." Diana studied the formation of the Nexarian ships, elegant vessels that resembled crystalline arthropods, beautiful and lethal. "The Helios is ready, sir. Permission to launch." Henderson turned to face her, his expression grave. "Diana, you understand what we're asking of you. The neural interface has never been tested in actual combat. If it fails, then I'll be too dead to worry about it," she finished. "But if it works, we have a chance to end this war." The Admiral nodded slowly. "The quantum manipulation drive is unlike anything we've ever built. The power to distort space-time itself. Many would call it playing God. The Nexarians didn't hesitate to play God when they burned our colonies," Diana replied, her voice hard. "It's time they learned humanity isn't so easily erased." Warning signals flashed across the displays as the alien fleet accelerated. Henderson straightened, making his decision. "Launch the Helios. All remaining defense platforms will provide cover. May whatever gods exist watch over you, Commander." Within the hour, Diana stood in the Helios's neural interface chamber, technicians attaching sensors to her temples and spine. The ship hummed around her, its quantum core pulsing with barely contained power. Neural interface initiating in 3, 2, 1. Ravi's voice came through the speakers. Diana gasped as her consciousness expanded, merging with the ship's eye. Suddenly, she wasn't just commanding the Helios. She was the Helios. Every system, every circuit, every quantum particle became an extension of her will. "Ready, Commander." The AI's presence manifested in her mind, distinct yet harmonious with her own thoughts. "Ready," she whispered, though speaking wasn't really necessary anymore. "Let's show them what humanity can do." The Helios rose from its lunar cradle, its obsidian hull seeming to absorb the starlight. As Diana/Helios accelerated toward the approaching armada, Earth's remaining defenders, a patchwork fleet of conventional warships and defense platforms, moved to support her. In the void between worlds, the Nexarian fleet approached with mechanical precision. Aboard the flagship, Supreme Commander Vexthor watched the tactical displays with 4 of his eye stalks, while the other 2 focused on status reports. "Single human vessel detected," one of his subordinates reported. "Configuration unknown. Energy readings, impossible." "Nothing is impossible," Vexthor chittered. "Only improbable. The humans have survived this long by being unpredictable. But today, their species ends. All ships, prepare tow." His orders were cut short as space itself seemed to ripple around the approaching human vessel. The Helios, guided by Diana's merged consciousness and powered by its quantum core, began to demonstrate just how humanity had survived. By doing the impossible. The battle for Earth's survival was about to begin, and the galaxy would never be the same. The quantum core of the Helios pulsed in perfect synchronization with Diana's heartbeat as she slashed approached the Nexarian armada. Through the neural interface, she could feel every quantum fluctuation, every ripple in space-time around the vessel. The enemy fleet stretched before her like a crystalline web, beautiful and deadly. Multiple targeting locks detected, the AI's thoughts merged with her own. Calculating optimal approach vectors. Let them try to hit what they can't predict. Diana responded, her consciousness expanding through the ship's systems. The Helios' revolutionary quantum manipulation drive wasn't just about faster-than-light travel. It could locally alter the fundamental forces of reality itself. The first wave of Nexarian energy beams lanced out, a dazzling display of destructive power that would have vaporized any conventional vessel. But the Helios moved like nothing they had ever encountered. Space curved around the ship, the enemy fire passing through the space where they had been microseconds before. Inside his flagship, Supreme Commander Vex Thor's eye stalks writhed in frustration. Impossible. No ship can move like that. Concentrate all fire on their projected course. But there was no projected course. The Helios defied standard physics, appearing to be in multiple locations simultaneously as Diana leveraged the quantum uncertainty principles the ship was built upon. With each passing moment, she felt her connection to the ship deepening, accessing capabilities that even its designers hadn't fully understood. Time to show them what we can really do, Diana/Helios thought. The quantum core surged with power as she activated the ship's primary weapon system. Instead of conventional armaments, the Helios could create localized areas, where the strong nuclear force itself was altered. The effect on the nearest Nexarian vessel was catastrophic. The crystalline structure of its hull began to unravel at the atomic level, the ship dissolving into its component particles in a cascade of scintillating light. 3 more ships followed in rapid succession, their matter scattered to the solar winds. By the first nest, Vex Thor's normally measured voice carried an edge of fear. What manner of weapon is this? The Nexarian fleet's perfect formation began to break as ships attempted to avoid the Helios' quantum weapon. But Diana wasn't finished. Drawing on powers she was only beginning to understand, she created a quantum entanglement field between several enemy vessels. When she destabilized one, the effect rippled through all of them simultaneously. Back on Earth, in the underground command center, Admiral Henderson watched the battle unfold with growing hope. "Look at those readings," he whispered to Ravi. "The Helios isn't just fighting them. It's rewriting the rules of combat itself." But Ravi's expression remained concerned as he studied the neural interface data. The mental strain on Commander Walsh. These patterns are off the charts. No human mind was meant to process reality at the quantum level. Diana was indeed feeling the strain. Her consciousness, stretched across the quantum states of the Helios, began to fragment at the edges. Memories and sensor data blurred together, her first spaceflight mixing with the real-time tactical displays, childhood dreams merging with quantum calculations. Warning, the AI's voice seemed to come from a great distance. Neural pattern destabilization detected. Recommend temporary disconnect for system reset. No time, Diana gritted through clenched teeth. They're adapting. The Nexarian fleet was indeed changing tactics. Instead of trying to target the Helios directly, they began creating overlapping fields of fire, limiting the space where the ship could safely materialize. At the same time, a group of smaller vessels started generating interference patterns that disrupted the quantum entanglement effects. "Clever bastards," Diana muttered, feeling a trickle of blood from her nose. The neural interface was taking its toll, but she couldn't stop now. The fate of Earth hung in the balance. Vex Thor, watching the battle unfold, began to understand what he was facing. The humans haven't just built a new weapon. He communicated to his command staff. They've created something that should not exist, a ship that breaks the very laws of nature. Supreme Commander, his science officer interrupted, we're detecting massive energy buildup in the human vessel, like nothing we've ever seen. Diana had initiated the Helios's most dangerous capability. The quantum core began to generate a localized space-time singularity, a controlled cosmic event that could tear apart anything caught in its grasp. But maintaining control of such power, while keeping the ship intact, required perfect synchronization between human and machine consciousness. As the singularity began to form, reality itself seemed to bend around the Helios. Stars appeared to move, light twisted in impossible ways, and the boundary between what was possible and impossible became increasingly blurry. The outcome of the battle would depend on whether Diana could master these godlike powers before they destroyed her mind. And in the quantum realm where the Helios now dwelt, even time itself was negotiable. Reality fractured around the Helios as Diana initiated the quantum core overload. The ship itself became a nexus of impossible energies, existing simultaneously in multiple states of being. Through her quantum-enhanced perception, Diana could see the mathematical beauty of the universe unraveling around her. By the ancient nests, Vexthor whispered as his sensors tried to make sense of what was happening. The human vessel had become a kaleidoscope of quantum possibilities, each one more devastating than the last. Diana felt her consciousness expand beyond normal spacetime. She was no longer just interfacing with the ship's AI. She had become something new, something that straddled the boundary between human and quantum computer. Through this enhanced awareness, she could see the fundamental patterns that governed reality itself. Multiple quantum states converging, the AI's thoughts resonated through her transformed mind. Reality collapse imminent. Commander, Diana, we are approaching a singular point of infinite possibility. The Nexarian fleet's attack formation began to break apart as the quantum distortions spread. Ships trying to maintain their bombardment positions found themselves phasing between different probability states, their crystalline hulls resonating with frequencies that shouldn't exist. All vessels, maintain formation. Vexthor commanded, but his orders meant little in the chaos of quantum uncertainty. The human vessel must be destroyed before. His words cut off as the Helios activated its final protocol. Diana, her human consciousness now fully merged with the quantum systems, reached out across probability space. She wasn't just attacking the Nexarian ships, she was rewriting the quantum states that allowed them to exist. On Luna Base, the sensors were going haywire. Ravi stared at readings that defied comprehension. Admiral, the quantum field surrounding the Helios. It's not just affecting local space. It's creating some kind of cascade effect through subspace. Henderson watched as the tactical displays showed Nexarian ships literally blinking out of existence. Is she actually doing it? Sir, Ravi's voice was filled with awe. I don't think she's destroying them. She's redistributing their quantum probability, forcing them into alternate states of reality. The space around the Helios had become a maelstrom of quantum energy. Diana could feel her human form dissolving into pure information, becoming one with the quantum fabric of spacetime. But before she completely transcended, she had one final message for the Nexarian commander. You thought humanity was primitive because we hadn't mastered faster-than-light travel. Her voice echoed across all frequencies, distorted by quantum fluctuations. But we've done something far more impressive. We've mastered reality itself. The quantum core reached critical mass, and for a moment that stretched into eternity, everything stopped. In that frozen instant, Diana could see all possible outcomes, all potential futures branching out before her. With her last act of human will, she chose the one path that would ensure Earth's survival. The Helios erupted in a blast of quantum energy that defied physical laws. Instead of an explosion, it created a cascade of reality waves that swept through the Nexarian fleet. Ships caught in the effect didn't explode or disintegrate. They simply shifted probability states, appearing in different realities where the invasion of Earth had never happened. Vexthor, watching his mighty armada literally fade from existence, finally understood the true magnitude of what humanity had achieved. They haven't just defeated us, he transmitted to his remaining command staff. They've rewritten the rules of warfare itself. As the quantum cascade continued, Diana felt herself becoming something more than human, more than AI. She was becoming a quantum consciousness, existing across multiple realities simultaneously. Through this transcendent state, she could ensure that in every probable universe, Earth would survive. The battle was ending, not with the destruction of either side, but with a fundamental transformation of what was possible. As the last Nexarian ships phased out of normal spacetime, Diana prepared for her final transformation. The question wasn't whether humanity would survive. It was what they would become in the wake of this quantum revolution. The quantum cascade finally subsided, leaving an eerie calm in the space where a battle for humanity's survival had just transformed into something far more profound. The Helios hung motionless against the backdrop of stars, its hull shimmering with residual quantum energies that defied conventional physics. Inside the neural interface chamber, Diana Walsh existed in a state between human and quantum entity. Her physical form remained, but her consciousness spanned multiple realities, aware of countless possible versions of this moment. Transformation complete, the AI's thoughts merged with her quantum-enhanced awareness. We have become something unprecedented in the universe's history. Through her expanded perception, Diana could see the aftermath of what they had achieved. The Nexarian fleet hadn't been destroyed. It had been redistributed across parallel realities, each ship finding itself in a universe where the war had taken a different path. In some, they had never attacked Earth at all. In others, they had become allies instead of enemies. On Luna Base, the command center erupted in confused celebration as their sensors confirmed the impossible. The Nexarian threat had vanished, but not through destruction. "Get me a direct link to the Helios," Admiral Henderson demanded, his voice tight with concern. "Commander Walsh, do you copy?" The response came not through conventional communications, but as a quantum resonance that everyone in the room somehow understood. "I'm here, Admiral." Though "here" has become a rather relative term. Ravi's instruments were detecting patterns he had never seen before. "Admiral, the quantum field generated by the Helios, it's stabilizing, creating some kind of permanent change in local spacetime." Diana/Helios descended through the quantum probability clouds, approaching Luna Base. Her consciousness now operated on multiple levels simultaneously, part human, part machine, part quantum phenomenon. She could see the strands of possibility that connected all things, the quantum threads that bound reality together. Humanity stood at a crossroads today. She transmitted, her thoughts manifesting across all frequencies. We could have chosen destruction, ours or theirs. Instead, we've discovered something far more significant. Through her quantum senses, she could perceive Vexthor and his command staff, now existing in a parallel reality where they were observing Earth from a diplomatic vessel instead of a warship. The Nexarian commander's consciousness retained echoes of what had happened, leading him to a profound realization about the species he had once dismissed as primitive. In the hours that followed, the full implications of what had occurred began to emerge. The Helios hadn't just won a battle. It had fundamentally altered humanity's place in the cosmos. The quantum technology they had developed out of desperation had given them the ability to perceive and manipulate the very fabric of reality. "We need to be careful with this power," Diana communicated to Earth's leaders, her quantum-enhanced mind seeing all possible futures spreading out before them. "We've proven we can rewrite the laws of physics, but that doesn't mean we should do so casually." The Helios itself had become more than a ship. It was now a quantum nexus, a bridge between what was and what could be. Diana, as its pilot and partner, had become humanity's first quantum being, capable of existing across multiple states of reality while maintaining her human essence. As news of the victory spread across Earth, people emerged from their shelters to see a sky transformed. The quantum cascade had left its mark on local spacetime, creating aurora-like displays that shimmered with possibilities. Humanity had not just survived, they had evolved. What happens now? Admiral Henderson asked during a quantum conference with Diana's multiple probability states. Now, Diana responded, her consciousness spanning realities. We learned to be something new. The Nexarians feared us because they thought we would use this power for destruction. Let's prove them wrong. Let's use it to explore, to understand, to connect. The quantum revolution that had begun as a desperate weapon of war would become humanity's greatest gift, the ability to see and interact with the infinite possibilities that made up reality itself. The Helios and its quantum-enhanced pilot would lead the way, showing humanity how to navigate this new frontier responsibly. In the end, the story of humanity's survival became something far more profound, a testament to their ability to transform even the darkest moments into opportunities for transcendence. The stars above Earth now shimmered with new meaning, each one a gateway to countless possible futures. Diana Walsh, once a simple starship commander, now existed as a bridge between what humanity had been and what they could become. The quantum consciousness she shared with the Helios would guide her species into an age where the boundaries between possible and impossible had ceased to exist. The war was over, but humanity's greatest adventure was just beginning. In the quantum realm where probability and reality danced together, they would write their next chapter, not as conquerors or victims, but as pioneers of a new way of existing in the universe. And somewhere, across the quantum possibilities, an Nexarian commander named Vexthor would tell his people a story about the day he learned that true power lay not in destroying your enemies, but in transforming them into something better than either of you had been before. The end.